I didn't do the show yesterday. My bad. But I'm going to try to make up for it. Maybe this weekend I'll slide one in, especially considering we got a 3-day weekend that I just found out about. I didn't even know it. I was out there working today. Like, what do you mean we don't work on Monday? What's this? What's this? But I'll take it. I'll take it. So it's the weekend. We might as well have us a little fun tonight talking about what took place yesterday that a lot of people anticipated. And you got to understand that, I think that really the most anticipated people were conservatives and maybe some moderates because we want to see what happened. We want to see how this interview is going to go. We wanted to see if Kamala Harris was going to come out and ring the bell or lay an egg. We don't know. And she tried to make sure that she keep it on the down low until she just couldn't do it anymore. So she came out yesterday and she did her little interview. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight. But first, I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I see people saying, "What's up, Kev?" All right. I see a commercial playing over here. That means things are getting started. I ain't going to lie, Ooh, why I oughta. They still around, y'all. They still around. If y'all got some tips on how to get rid of these dang on gnats, I'll take them. I'm sitting there trying everything, putting a vinegar out, trying to tempt them with food and snacks. Unbelievable, man. They are the worst. They're the worst. You almost would take flies over gnats. Make me so mad because they're so small. They're so small. But anyway, let's get busy. I'm going to try to deal with the one gnat that's flying around. Anyway. Now, if you can hear me, let me know, and then I'll go ahead and start the show. Okay? I'm assuming y'all can hear me. So let me go ahead and get busy. Yeah. Like a real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Just jeans in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right. There's gorillas in here. The Gorilla Clan is in the house. And guess what else is in the house? Kevin's Corner Store. So if you want to check out some of the merch, you can go straight to that link in below all of my videos and check out the products. And also this number on the screen, 3309-744-607. If you text MAGA to that number, I'll make sure I lock you in just in case, some shenanigans happen on YouTube. Y'all be able to at least find out whatever happened to me. And then I think that might be it. Oh, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App or my PayPal, you can do that. The link is below the video as well. And with that being said, let's get into this. Because see, first thing we want to do, y'all, because we, as informed, smart, high IQ voters, we like to know what kind of policies a candidate has, what they believe. You know what I'm saying? We like to see all of the details, and so we can understand what we're voting for. We're informed purchasers. We don't go in and just say, all right, that looks nice and glittery and shiny, I'll take it. We like to look up under the engine. We like to go to the house and, test it out, get on top of the roof and jump up and down, things like that. Make sure all the faucets work. We like to do our due diligence. But we got a group of Americans out there that don't require any of that. Those are the ones that walk in and the car salesman says, we got us a sucker. Yep, that's right. So with that being said, let's see what type of requirements that Kamala Harris voters have. All right, start it off like that.
What is Harris's biggest accomplishment to date as vice president?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore.
Oh, I bet you don't. I bet you don't. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore. Yeah, that's that moment of reality that hits you like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm on TV. I'm the person out there that's promoting. I'm out there trying to sell. I'm out there trying to encourage folks to support this candidate, and I have no ammunition. I'm that person that's telling somebody, man, you should buy this, and they don't know nothing about the product. Product could suck. People might go ahead, listen to you, take your word for it, invest, and then they got to come back to you going, hey, man, you made me buy this, and you said this was great. Maybe I should have asked you what makes it great. So this lady has been asking these people, what makes Kamala Harris a good candidate? What do you know about her? Why are you trying to invest in her? And here's their wonderful answers.
She's She was a very good vice president.
Wow. Y'all see what we working with? Y'all see what we working with as citizens? And these people could influence like our lives if they vote and vote this chick in. She was, and the husband tried to throw her a pass, and she dropped it, and he threw a bad pass. What kind of pass was that? She was the good vice president. That's it? That's all you got? Both of these two are idiots. So I guess she was vice president. Yeah, I see. I mean, he did what he had to do, try to come in and rescue his wife, but he stunk it up too.
She was a very good vice president.
Good grief, man. And see, all you have to do is go one step further than that. What made her a good vice president? There it is. What made her a good vice president? And then they go right back to you know what? Actually, I don't know, but she was let's listen to some more of them.
That's an interesting question. Getting to vice president.
There it is. That's her accomplishment. Getting to vice president. Somehow, she finagled her way into the vice presidency, and they are looking at that as an accomplishment, as a reason to go ahead and vote for her. Getting into, what if she's a Muppet? What if she's a Muppet? Would you vote for a Muppet? Because that's what they're doing. They don't know anything about this woman. They might as well vote for Bert and Ernie, you know, Kermit the Frog, Animal. I always love Animal. I mean, I might even vote for Animal. Animal. Loved it. So they might as well go ahead and vote for Animal. Because they have no idea who's controlling this woman. She somehow became vice president on her own? You mean through votes? I mean, are you saying that people voted her in? Is that how she did? No. See, they don't even require that. They just say somehow she became vice president. She was installed.
I have to do more research on her, honestly. I'm just glad to see a woman of color in charge for once.
Jeez, so man, if I was an alien species, I might say, all right, this species right here is headed for destruction, headed for self-destruction. Can I get the green light to get rid of the ones that's bring, yeah. I mean, do you see these people? Honestly, I need to do more research, but honestly, I'm just happy to see. These are the people who will walk right into, like, a trap. I mean, just lay something shiny and glitter out there, and they just go right into the barn, they close the barn behind them, and they're all trapped. I mean, I probably should do a little more research, but I'm just happy to see a woman of color. And I'm going, that's the extent? You don't care? What if this woman is laying a trap for you? Yeah, dangling out her melanin, dangling out her gender. And you go ahead and take the bait and end up broke, end up in socialism, end up in communism. These are the people who will walk right into that and wonder, how did we get to this? What else?
That's it.
That's it.
I haven't followed her political career that closely.
That's a good one. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
First.
Good googly moo. So you see, those are the voters that's going to go out there and punch the ticket for Kamala Harris, knowing nothing about her, but that she's a woman. She was the vice president. Somehow that she did something to her jigger. I don't know. And that is exactly why she's been able to get away without doing interviews this long. Yeah, she's been able to wing it and just go out there and just read the teleprompter and, you know, stuff like that and get away with it because they're voters. This is the requirement that they have. She's a woman. She was the VP. I'm excited about her because she brings joy. Man, I'm concerned about the human species. Good grief. I mean, be kind of concerned to go like to another galaxy and have to represent. Are you a part of the human species? I mean, I know about them. I mean, sometimes like I'm cool with them, but like we ain't relatives or nothing like that. I mean, the smart ones. Like, did you know? Do you know there's a group of them that have evolved, and right now they're a little bit more intelligent. They got a higher IQ. They're called conservatives. They're called patriots. Yeah, those ones, yeah. But then for some reason we got some that can't get over the hump. Some of them just can't get over that evolutionary hump. They're looking with that. You know what? I don't understand why these people are making these decisions. What do they mean they need a border? I mean, we should have open borders. This is crazy. These guys are white nationalist racists. What do you mean you guys want lower taxes? I can't believe you should just go ahead and share all the wealth with all of the illegal immigrants so we can. Those are the ones that can't get over the hump. So now she goes on CNN because she's been called out. They done flushed her out. The Republicans kept hammering her to the point where even the fake news starts saying, all right, now look, you got to come out and do something. But now, we got your back. Now, we all knew that CNN had her back because we've been watching clips of CNN nurse her the whole time. We watched them all come out and repeat the talking points from the Kamala Harris campaign that told everybody in CNN and MSNBC, hey, she ain't the border czar. That's the first thing. Secondly, border crossing. Gave them a whole list of talking points, and they are sticking to them. I mean, sticking to them. So there's nothing that would make me think that the same network that's been coddling her, running interference for her, would actually sabotage her by asking her some serious questions. Now, they got to try to fake it and make it seem like they're asking questions, but there was a lot of questions I have. Like, well, why won't you release the whole transcript? Why was it only like 17 or 18 minutes long? Why was the weird woke guy in the room? Why was he even there? What was his purpose? To catch her just in case she glitched up? Not to mention it was edited, of course. So let's go ahead and see this guy's interpretation and see if his interpretation lines up with ours.
To the Kamala Harris interview, which ended up looking more like a campaign ad than a hard-hitting
campaign ad.
Welcome on board. Thank you. It's good to see you. This is not where Vice President Harris thought she would be. We're going to Georgia. Yes. 7th trip there this year for me.
Yes, it is. It's where she thought she would be because she has been around creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe the whole time knowing he was deteriorating mentally. I'm sure there was many times where she's like, I should just go ahead and push him down the steps. I mean, he's not going to make it. He's not going to go the distance. I'm just waiting in the wings for this dude to finally just put out so I can take his place. Yeah, this is exactly where she thought she would be. Now, granted, she might have not known that many of the Democrat higher-ups really didn't want her to be there. But I guarantee you she wanted to be there. So now here she is in CNN. You see this nice, soft introduction. Now, you think they would do that if they were interviewing Trump? Nah, they'll just come and get right into it. No little montage. No, we were following the president on his campaign trail. And if it was like he was surrounded by white nationalists and skinheads. We noticed that evil surrounded him at all times. I think we saw a dark cloud hovering over Air Force. They would do all kind of stuff like that. But for her, listen to this nice, warm introduction.
A surprise nominee for president just months from Election Day. Set in motion after a stunning debate.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
There was a slow start, but it was a strong finish.
Y'all see that? All serious up there, trying to make it look like I still support the president. It was a slow start, but a strong finish. No, it wasn't. It was slow all the way through. What are you talking about? Soon as the gun went off, he stood straight up. His form was all crazy. Running like he was running backwards. But she wants to say, so I finished strong. No, he didn't. That guy right there started slow and ended slow. And here she is up there talking about, I support the president.
And then an extraordinary decision.
No, that wasn't a decision. That right there was a forced decision, under duress. Nasty Pelosi. Now listen, Joe, you know what's going to happen to you if you don't obey me. They were waiting for Joe to say no. So Joe had to come out under duress and say, I'm stepping down for the good of the country.
The best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
What usually takes years of planning, coming together in a matter of weeks.
So basically, it was jerry-rigged, and it had no voting process. Where's all that democracy they speak of? Yeah, see, so something that usually take years was overthrown by a coup. Something that usually requires the voters to listen to multiple, candidates and determine which ones they think is the best. That usually happens, but in this case, she was anointed and appointed. There it is. So something that usually happens, like always, the Democrats destroy all the norms. They just do whatever they want. And the media, instead of calling it out, they're just saying something like, Joe Biden was a hero. He stepped down. And something unusual happened. She had to step up. And in this process, she was able to put together this magnanimous campaign. See, they creating a story here. So you already know, just based on the intro, that the interview is not going to contradict the intro. The intro is so warming, and you're anticipating the princess coming out. Look at her. She's brave. She took on a responsibility. She stood by the president even when he was ill. And then she reluctantly stepped up to the plate. Now you already know. It's going to be nothing but softballs. You think she's going to come out immediately after this nice intro and be like, all right, I want to know a lot of questions. When did you know the president was No, she ain't going to do that. So let's continue.
Tim Wall!
The weird weirdo.
After a historic nomination at the convention in Chicago.
After historic nomination. What was historic about it? Yeah, it was historic because it wasn't earned. Very historic. See, if you let them write history, this is historic because she's the first black female nominee. But in my eyes, she's the first one that skipped over all of the process. She's the first one that was just straight up installed right in front of the eyes of the people. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because of the voters that we just saw a few minutes ago that vote for Democrats. That's why it doesn't matter. That's the only reason they're able to get away with this. Because the media comes in and says, you won't look at this for what it is. You will look at this as historic. You never loved Joe Biden. Instead, you loved Kamala Harris. And they're like, yay, Kamala's here to say, wait, you know what? When did I start liking her? Actually, I don't. But, oh yeah, yay! Right back to it. So it's very historic. And we ain't never seen that like this happen. Let's continue.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written.
I can't wait until they lose. Man, only way they're going to win still, I believe this, is if they cheat. And I just don't even believe they're going to be able to do that. But those people in there crying and all of that stuff and thinking this is historic, I really am interested to see just how these Democrats and the rest of these people are going to respond when Trump smashed their face in. First of all, when all the numbers come out and show the minorities that voted for Trump, the men, all these different groups that they swear up and down don't support Trump, I wonder how they're going to explain it. I wonder how they're going to explain all the Democrats coming out and saying he cheated. We're not, certifying this election. I wonder if they're going to turn on them and say these people are subverting democracy. These people have no evidence of this. I wonder if they're going to do that. I wonder if they're going to say, you know what, all of the crazy liberal radicals that are probably going to try to go and act a fool if Trump wins. I wonder if they're going to say they're the greatest threat to the homeland and they're domestic terrorists. I wonder if they're going to do that. See, so it's going to be interesting to see how they all are going to react when Trump smashes their face in. We already heard Jamie Ratskin with the poodle on top of his head. We already heard him talk about that we just ain't going to certify the election. You know what I'm saying? And get ready for a civil war. That's all. We already heard that. But I'm interested in seeing it. I wonder how many liberal tears are going to be popping out of their eyes. Because right now, I just saw folks in that audience crying over this. This is this is so memorable. Look at this. We're getting the first black female. Well, wait, is she qualified? Wait, you know what? I'm just realizing something. I didn't even vote for her. How did she become the first black? Did she earn it? Well, you know what? I can't think like that because I'm a liberal. I'm not supposed to be thinking like that. So let's go ahead and finish watching this wonderful introduction to the interview.
In the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. The Harris-Walz ticket is now pushing forward with the shortest presidential campaign in modern history.
Now, you can tell the tone of the intro that this right here is really almost a commercial. There it is. I mean, look at the shots that they're catching. They're getting her on the campaign trail, people smiling. Now, do you think they would be showing shots like this for Trump? I mean, they would be showing every negative thing they can. I mean, if his tie is blowing in the wind backwards, he got off the plane and his tie was blowing in the wind. He looked like he was disheveled. They would be throwing every negative thing they can. They would never show all the black folks hugging on Trump. They wouldn't show that clip when he was down there in Atlanta and that one girl gave him that hug and was excited. They wouldn't show those clips. Yeah, I guarantee you they wouldn't show any of this. So they're setting the tone and expectation right now. Now, we all knew this was going to be a softball interview. I wonder if CNN know that we know. Yeah, I mean, because it's all over the internet right now. A lot of people are going, man, that's a bull crap. That bull crap. And yet they're still coming out trying to say she did good. Yeah, of course she did good. No pushback. Asked the anticipated questions that she probably knew was coming. And then I noticed something as she was responding, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's finish looking at her very nice introduction.
What did you hear from voters here?
People are very optimistic.
We joined them on the trail.
What did you hear from voters here? People are very optimistic. You think they'd ask Trump that? What did you hear from voters here? Were they all white nationalists or what? Did they all scream and get excited when you mention a bloodbath, Mr. Trump? But nope, that's not what they're saying.
As they visited the battleground of Georgia. Just 68 days from the election.
Now, of course, they'd probably insert some pictures of white nationalists for Trump or the folks at the J6 thing. They would never show this stuff for Trump. They wouldn't show all of the people cheering and showing up for his events. No way.
As voters are getting to know Kamala Harris, they want answers on how she will make their lives better.
And she will never give those to them. Not honestly. And they're not really getting to know her. They're getting to know someone, her representative for that moment. That's all they're getting. They have no idea who she is. Nobody really does. She would be the woman you would marry and wake up and she'd be crazy. Misery, tying your ankles together and busting out that sledgehammer. You would be going, who in the world am I laying next to? So these are the voters. Though I don't care. Does she seem sincere? She says nice things when she's reading the teleprompter, and she's a woman of color.
She heard that here at Sandfly Barbecue in Savannah.
What we're going to do to increase access to capital for small businesses, I'll be rolling out next week. Part of what we're going to be doing in terms of a tax credit.
On the trail, she talks about her experience, years in the courtroom as a district attorney.
Look at that. Making her look professional. Catching clips where she's walking in looking like a woman of authority. Full-blown ad. Full-blown info commercial for her. Infomercial. Yeah, that's all it is. A promo ad for her. So where she was an attorney and then watch they bring in the villain. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for them to bring in the villain?
And eventually California's Attorney General. She wants to reframe the contest as the prosecutor versus the felon.
Y'all see this? Did you see the ad that they made for her? She wants the frame. Now look at the angle they got Trump, the close up. Got the frustration on his voice because he's sitting in a bootleg courtroom going, this is a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, but of course they making her look like, she's coming in. Yeah, she's brave. She's a prosecutor versus the felon. Now they're calling this man a felon and he hasn't even been sentenced yet. I wonder if you can get him for defamation. And the way it looks is that Fat Albert don't even want him to be sentenced until after the election. Now, why would they want that? Well, because one, they know this is a bootleg trial anyway, and a bootleg sentencing. But secondly, they know that if they try to sentence him and jail him while they're creating these fake polls, that this fake momentum from her, it will probably make him more popular and he would surge in the polls. So they're like, just leave him alone for now. Let's just leave him alone for now and see what happens if we can still create this facade and continue this mess to try to drag her across the finish line. Okay, we don't want to upset the apple cart at this point. So now they bring in the villain and I'm thinking, is he a felon? I mean, y'all just out there saying it like he's been sentenced already.
I know Donald Trump's type.
I've been dealing with them my whole career. The former president is turning to a well-defined playbook of personal attacks.
That's why I would love to rent 1 billion pigeons. 1 billion pigeons to fly over CNN and poop on it. There it is. I would love to rent me an air balloon and put a whole bunch of cow manure in it and fly over CNN and pull the lever and let it poop all over CNN. Back to the common tropes of personal attacks. But you're not going to show the personal attacks that she has launched on this man?
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Oh, wait, why'd you cut the laughter? Why'd you cut that out? I mean, the crowd cracked up when he said that.
In just 12 days, the nominees will meet face-to-face for the first time.
She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate.
And he's attacking her because she's a woman. He's saying all these things because, he's just personally attacking her. He's personally attacking her. Why aren't they showing the clips of her saying things about Trump? All of a sudden, she's the victim. The gentle, innocent little lady right there, woman of color. And Trump's just being mean. Talking about she's stupid, I thought she did, I thought she doesn't, she's not smart, she's not a good debater. And all they show of her is her simply responding to him.
Got something to say. Say it to my face.
Bunch of shite. That whole intro, bunch of shite. So now let's get into the actual interview and let's go over a couple clips. Because see, I want to break this up into 2 sections. To show why I think she is garbage. Y'all know that I think she's garbage, just in case you're a first-time watcher. I think Kamala Harris is garbage for 2 reasons. One is because of her policies, which she don't have any, but the ones that we're going to try to identify, or at least that she mentions, we're going to show you why. Her policies suck. But then the other part is personality. So let's break this up between policies and personal. Okay. Let's start off with them asking her some softball questions about her policy.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
So wait a minute, Dana. Why don't you go ahead and give her multiple choice? Why don't you go ahead and just give her the answer? Is it that you simply had a revelation and an epiphany based on your thorough experience and kind of getting in and seeing exactly what works and what doesn't work? Is it because of that? Is it because of that? Why don't you go ahead and give her answers? You don't need to ask her, is it because? Don't put the thought in her head. That's how people manipulate kids. Did so-and-so say this to you? As they're shaking their head, did he say it like this or did he say it like that? Going like this, did he say it like this or did he say it like that? He said it like this. You're manipulating the person. You're trying to give her an answer. This sounds rational, but no, she don't take debate. She goes off on her own, y'all.
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decision.
Uh-oh, here comes that word salad. Shink, shink, shink. The most significant and the most, what are these words she constantly, these words are a fixture in her vocabulary. Dinah, the most.
My policy perspective.
Here it is.
Dana, I think the most important and most significant.
Significant, we hear that constantly.
An aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Uh-oh. Your values didn't change. But did your policies change? See, sleight of hand. Now look at what she's doing, y'all. Look at what she's doing. Yeah, she's not denying these so-called updates to her policies. But what she's simply saying is that my values haven't changed.
You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I've worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter, to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time.
Holding ourselves to deadlines around time. I thought deadlines really is equal to time, but nonetheless, she likes to go round and round that mulberry bush. Circular definitions, redundancy, and all that stuff. Deadlines around time. The hand movements to try to illustrate what she's saying. So now, with those circles around her eyes right about now, as somebody might have given her boop, two of those. Where's the makeup person? Why didn't they get the blush? Huh? Why didn't they give her the smoky eye? What's going on with that? So anyway, here she comes out though, talking about the Green New Deal, and her values haven't changed. But that wasn't the question. It's the policies. See, so she's trying to answer the question without answering the question, because she slid in a word that's slightly different from policies, and she's focused on values. And she's not explaining why she even changed the policies. She just simply said, my values haven't changed. So does that mean the policy hasn't changed either? Are you explaining are your values lining up with the old policies or the new ones? Because if your values haven't changed and yet you've changed the policies, then I got to know why. See, that's like us as conservatives deciding, you know what, we value freedom of speech, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and vote against the First Amendment. There it is. We're going to vote against that. But my values haven't changed. I still support freedom of speech, but I think we should get rid of the First Amendment. So she's trying to be slick with this answer.
We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value is...
See, now she's being slick. She purposely is using value instead of policies. Meaning, I still believe these things. I'm not saying that the policies are the same, but I'm telling you, I believe them. Therefore, later on, when I come back to those policies and implement the ones that I said I wanted before, I'm going to say, I never said that I changed the policies. I told y'all my values never changed. I told you that, which means I still believe in these policies. That's what that means. But she don't want to tell people that. She wants them to think that, yeah, even though I've lightened up on the policies or I've changed the policies, deep down in my heart, my intent and the way I see this, in my head, I still value these. These things are still important to me. However, they're not important enough to me to keep them as policies. That's my question I would have for her. If Dana was me, I would be going, so your values are the same, but you're saying these policies have changed. Does that mean that you no longer value these policies? Bingo. And that would make her eyeballs pop out of the sockets. But let's continue.
Has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border.
You have less time.
So what y'all think about that answer, y'all? Is it sufficient? Does it suffice? Now, Dana just sat back and let her slide that in. Talk about the policies and my values haven't changed, and for instance, and giving examples and stuff like that. And I'm saying, from what I understand, you weren't that tough on the border. You never really prosecuted cases like that when you was in, and look at California. You must have done a piss poor job. But nonetheless, here's another question. Let's see how this one goes.
Time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are.
The ones that are smart know you're a fraud. Yeah, we already know what your plans are. But your voters are going, I don't care what she says. She's a woman of color.
If you are elected, what would you do on day 1 in the White House?
I don't know.
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class.
That's an answer on day 1? How? What does that look like? What does that mean? Secondly, what do you need a day 1 for? You're already in there. All you got to do is open your door and go down the hall. Hey, Creepy, is he here? Is he still on vacation? Jeez, oh man, when is he? He's not coming back? So technically, I'm kind of like the president. I'm going to change things up. Where's that? I mean, y'all should have some ideas right now. With the anticipation, I'm assuming, that y'all would have won with Creepy or without Creepy. Y'all should have already been working on what is the next thing we're going to do if we win. Y'all should have some type of policy to where you say, look, I'm already in here. We're already implementing this. We're working on this. And all we're going to do when I win is implement it because it's right now ready to go. But she's trying to juggle, trying to pretend that she ain't even in the White House. And the past policies and conditions that we're in are good yet bad. They're good yet bad. On one end, we did all this great stuff. But on the other end, on day one, I'm going to wipe all that mess out. I'm going to do something totally different. I'm changing it all the way up because it ain't working. We got to do something better. Now, how does that work? Because Dana's not asking her. How are you able to say your policies right now are working because that's Bidenomics and it's good, but yet at the same time saying on day one, I'm going to change all this stuff up. And then what exactly are you going to change up on day one? And somebody says she sounds tipsy. Yeah, but she always does. Her and Nancy Pelosi.
When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people.
Nope. What American people are you talking about? See, once again, when I look at that, she's generalizing, making sure that she's very vague. And she's pretending that everybody's on board with this. When I look at the goals, the aspirations of the American people, have you watched video clips of people out there when they're asking, how do you think things are going? They suck. Yeah, well, who helped them suck? This woman and Creepy. Their whole administration. So here she are when I look at the goals and aspirations of the, you don't speak for all Americans. It's obvious that there's a whole bunch of Americans that think you and Joe suck. But apparently she's looking out for us two guys. So what are our goals and aspirations as Americans?
I think that people are ready for a new way forward.
Wait, what do you mean a new way forward? I thought it was you guys that came in and brought in utopia. I thought it was you guys who came in and brought some type of respect back to the White House. I thought it was you guys. So what are you talking about? Folks want some change, and I'm going, why would they want change? Once again, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. You're trying to say, look at all the great things me and Joe has done, our administration, all the stuff we've implemented, but at the same time, it's raggedy enough for me to go ahead and change it all up. Trying to distinguish herself between the current administration that she is currently involved in. And you think Dana ever breaks that down and asks her about that and says, that doesn't make sense. That's like an oxymoron. You guys are in charge right now. So according to you, people should be happy based on your wonderful, stellar record. But for some reason, you're saying these people also want change.
In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone...
In the last decade, Trump was president for 4 years? Look at all of those years the Democrats were in charge. But here she is talking about in the last decade.
One who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing.
About loving the country, about protecting the country, about America first, about not becoming a globalistic country, about a secure border, about lowering taxes, about all of those things, things that a globalist would not like, things that a Marxist and a communist would not like. Values and attributes that make the country strong, like patriotism, loving our country, getting fair trade deals, strengthening our military and not using them for proxy wars and using them for little skirmishes and overthrowing government, minding our own business, stuff like that. Things like that. Supporting the First and Second Amendment and all the rest of the amendments. Things like that. Making sure we got our freedom of speech, not allowing all of these agencies to pretty much run the country. Yeah, you mean stuff like that? Not out here always talking about white nationalism and racism and sexism, not allowing our kids to be manipulated in schools and shown all kind of nastiness. You mean like that?
The character and the strength of who we are as Americans.
The character and strength and who we are as Americans. If we leave it up to liberals, we won't have no strength. There will be no testosterone left in the country. We will be testosteroneless. That's what we would be. We'd be walking around with nothing but treble in the voice for everybody. Out there on the battlefield, okay, what do we do? Is everyone ready? Okay, wait a minute. Let's identify as brave people. No, I don't like that one. Okay, everyone, wait, hold up, time out. I need a safe space. We would be testosteroneless. And I guarantee you our enemies are going, yes, Western world, focus on all that nonsense, that wokeness, while we prepare for war. Idiots like this.
Really dividing our nation, and I think...
Dividing our nation? Could it be the party that constantly is coming out talking white nationalist, Hitler, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, every phobia you could come up with? Could it be those people? DEI. Hey, I'm sorry, Mafuyi. I know you got like over a 4.0 and your IQ is like 230, but we can't admit you into the school because we got this kid of color over here. What's your IQ again? It's somewhere in the 90s, somewhere like that. But hey, you're black. You're black. So come on in. You'll probably drop out in about 2 years, but hey, at least we'll say we met our quota. And Mafuyi's mad. He's going, that's discrimination. But they don't care. They don't care nothing about any of the stuff that divides us. They don't believe in real equality. They believe in equity. There it is. So let's continue listening to her misplace the blame and redirect the whole question to an indictment against Donald Trump somehow. And I'm still waiting to see what she's going to do on day one.
People are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. Okay. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard. Which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do.
The stuff you should be doing right now? That's my question. Or you just saving it? Oh, my fault. You're saving it for when you become the president, right? Yeah. Never shared it with Creepy Sleepy under the anticipation of you guys winning and going into the... can you give us a taste? Have you even started it right now with the current administration, considering where we're at? But no, this is this magical strategy she's going to roll out on day one. Right now, she's just giving us some slight details.
To invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life to help them buy a car seat, to help.
Thank you. Somebody said, is she reading notes? And that's what I was going to bring up. For some reason, during a lot of these answers, she keeps looking down at that table. Kind of like when she was, came out and those protesters yelled, talking about some free Palestine. And she stopped them and gave it a response and was reading the whole time, trying to act like it was natural. I wonder, because I don't think she has the ability. I don't think she got the RAM to put in all of the talking points that she need to make a reasonable response. I don't think she got it. I think she needs them. That's why her campaign probably really, even though they're denying it, asked for the ability to have notes during the darn debate.
Help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are
Just stuff, not details. I mean, and all the things that she's mentioning are not things that she can do on day one. She should be able to say, on day one, we're going to sign an executive order for this and this and that. We're going to implement this policy on day one. On day one, I'm going to order the Border Patrol to shut down the border and not admit any more folks into the country talking about I'm here for my asylum. We're going to shut that down on day one. That's something you could do on day one. But I guess it's not a priority. I guess right there, as the whole crib is burning, you're talking about, you know what? I think on day one, what we should do is put that cigarette out. Well, that's like minute compared to the whole house being on fire. Let's focus on the cigarette. Focus on that. And I'm going, the border is like a major issue for a lot of people. Maybe you should go ahead and plug that mug up. But see, here's the thing about that. As the current borders are, you can do it now. As the person who talks about how tough you are going to be on that border and how tough you were in California and you prosecuted all of these folks and all that stuff, can't you do that now? Aren't you still rocking the title as the borders are? Don't you have all authority over that border right now, borders are? So while Joe is out napping, taking a tan on the beach or whatever, you can be working the heck out of that border. You can be calling Mucus into your office right now and saying, Mucus, shut that border down. But she ain't doing that. Yeah, she's talking about what she gonna do when she become president. Well, if you can't do it now, as the current borders are, with the same authority that you will have when you're president, because remember, Biden gave her all that authority. So technically, she can deal with that border as if she was the president right now. Is she? Absolutely not. She didn't look back after she left that border on that photo op. She didn't even look back. Gone.
Number of things on day one.
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump.
Here we go.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
And he's same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Yeah, because you don't want to answer that one. You don't want to open up that. You don't want to reopen that wound, do you? Yeah, you don't want to give an account for all of those clips that we have. And I mean that's a lot. Where you accepted the nationality of the first Asian, the first Indian. You were happy to accept it. Didn't even mention in all of those, clips and stuff like that you were mixed. For some reason, you were ashamed of your black side, I guess. And you just want to focus on the Indian side, You don't want to answer that question, so you're going to take the high road. You're going to act like that's beneath me. I'm not even going to address it. Let's continue. Look at that evil smile.
That's it?
That's it.
2019, I believe, at a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
Yeah.
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward.
So wait a minute.
I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
Question about
I kept my word, and I'll keep my word. So basically, her word was I would ban fracking. What she's referring to is when she said Joe Biden is not going to ban fracking. She didn't say I won't ban fracking. She was simply supporting Joe Biden's policy of not banning fracking. And she's making it appear that it came out of her. That was her goal. That was her opinion. That was her view. See, so she's trying to be slick with that. But when we look at the video of what she said and how she feels about fracking, it's hard to believe. Since she just got done telling us her values haven't changed, it's hard to believe that she sincerely has changed her opinion about fracking. I mean, does she no longer look at climate change as an existential threat? I mean, what's going on? How can you still have those values based on the importance of climate change, the super threat of it? You talked about your nieces and nephews and all of them. How they gonna live with climate change on the ride? We got to do something now. But all of a sudden now that you're running and want to get elected, well, my values are still there. I do think that my nieces and nephews are going to have an earth that kills them in a couple years or so and all that stuff. But you know what? I'm more worried about these coal miners' jobs and things like that right now, because they're going to have to vote for me in Pennsylvania. And they're not going to vote for me if I come out and say I am against fracking.
Something that you said in 2019 when you first ran, there was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized.
Oh.
Do you still believe that?
Yes.
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally.
And yet, You're not even implementing them. Prosecutor. And what do you mean cross our border illegally? What does that even mean? You said that they shouldn't be called illegal. Oh, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Take that! Take that, gnat! Watch me end up choking in here. Now shoot. I killed myself with gnat spray. Okay, man. Yeah, I want to see him land. I want to see him start coughing. I want to see one of them throw up and laugh at his calamities. Now back to this. So here she is talking about she believes that there's law and order and stuff on the border. It should be if you come across illegally. What does coming across illegally look like to her? I would love an example from these liberal open border Democrats. An example of what they are referring to when they say come across illegally. I mean, because I would ask for some scenarios. Give me an example of somebody coming across illegally. Yeah. Because guess what? The ones that don't come through the point of entry, they're still allowed in. They get caught, and they still come in somehow. And then the ones that come through the port of entry still come in. So what are you talking about? What application would you say is illegal? Do you got to come to the border shooting guns in the air? Talking about, that's right, I'm a legal immigrant. I like to kill. I like to do all kinds of crazy things. Oh, obviously, this guy shouldn't come, man. He's one of those illegal ones. Look at the guns he has and all of that stuff. But that one right there who just simply came with their children and walked on over across the border, they're legal. I need to know the difference. But she's not going to describe that. She's just talking about the ones that come illegally. And I'm thinking, we just heard Joe Biden talk about, I shouldn't have called him illegal. Undocumented. So what makes a person an illegal immigrant? But Dana, for some reason, don't think like that because this is a softball interview.
And there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations.
So why haven't you done that now? Why aren't your big focus on the cartel? Do you not realize the cartel is controlling our border? Do you not realize that? Do you not realize your open border policy also allows them to bring fentanyl across and human trafficking? Oh, you know it, but you just think it's an acceptable risk. Why aren't you this deputy dog right now on the border? You're the current border czar. You can prosecute a whole heap of them. But for some reason, you ain't interested. And yet you up here talking about, let's be clear, I'm the only one that prosecuted. You got all the authority right now. You're part of the executive branch. Do some prosecutions. But nah, because that'll mess up your precious illegal immigrants too. You wouldn't want that now, would you?
To trafficking guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws. And
yet Trump was over the whole executive branch and was responsible for every border state, every one of them. And he actually allowed them people to be arrested and prosecuted and sent back. He actually did something. She acted like her being over California, Trump being over the whole country. He was over the whole executive branch. He told them all to go get him. And it's the same thing. You think she was out there actually going to arrest those people, even though she claimed she was real tough on them? No, she had other people do the arrest. And honestly, word on the street, she didn't do none of that anyway. But nonetheless, Trump was over the whole country. And he actually said, do something. Stop this mess. But here she is. I'm the only one that did nothing. Look at the results of California. And you're talking about something. I'm going, well, did crime come down? I mean, Rudy Giuliani can say, look, I actually did something. I cleaned up New York. It was a hellhole. What about you? Can you say that? What's your record on it? See, it's unbelievable. She's just throwing this out and Dana's just taking it.
I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
No, you would change those laws. That's what you would do. You would allow whoever you place over that border to do exactly what Mucus is doing right now, which is changing it up so it doesn't look like it's illegal. All you would do is just say, look, man, they're coming through the port of entry for a better life. and they're coming for asylum because of stuff. Therefore, border crossings illegally are down. You know what I'm saying? We just need more money and resources to process them all into the country. She ain't fooling us. Maybe she's fooling Dana though, because Dana didn't really press her on it. So guys, here's the 2 reasons why she sucks. Number 1, policies. So since she didn't give us no real breakdown of policies, let's go ahead and see what she used to say and line that up with her saying that she still got the same values.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. Oh, you know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Okay. The people who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote.
I think we should have that conversation.
I'm concerned about that policy. Yeah. And I'm also concerned about you saying, let's ban fracking. What else?
What would you do about the millions of specifically assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
That was important to me, y'all, because guess what I got on that wall? The wall of pain. I got a lot of man-guns over there on that wall. Okay. All right. Now, I want to know what you're going to do if you get in. And you implement this because you're coming up with this definition of an assault weapon. And they're saying that, those long guns are assault weapons, unlike all the other guns. They're not assault weapons. But and I'm coming after them. So I'm a little concerned about that. Let's hear her answer, y'all.
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
You're done. That policy alone. That clip alone should be ran 24/7. Because guess what? There's even a lot of Democrats who own long guns, who own AR-15s. They just don't know that this woman right here and her whole party want to get those guns. They don't know that. They don't pay close enough attention to politics. Maybe they're thinking that these folks aren't serious. Now, they've been talking about that for years. No, they just haven't had the right conditions to implement it. Yeah, see, they just haven't had, the House and the Senate strong enough with a woke president like this to implement it, especially considering all of the censoring and all of the abuse of these agencies and labeling all of the conservatives as potential white nationalists and white supremacists and far radicals, especially with all of that on the rise. At some point, they're coming after 2 things. Guns and speech. Those are the 2 things that's standing in the way of these Marxists/communists implementing all of this stuff. And they're not going to decipher between conservatives and Democrat voters when it comes to getting all those guns. Because a lot of Democrats will probably say, you ain't getting my guns either. On this situation, I'm going to side with the conservatives or the Republicans, and it's too late then because it's our law. And who knows, they might just have so many illegal immigrants here that are just thankful for a better life. They might even ask them to go door to door. Since you're here, you want to serve your country, you want to pay us back. Since our own loyal, patriotic American police officers are going to say, I ain't doing that, man. You ain't getting me killed. Walking up in somebody's crib talking about, can I come in and snoop around? And then you got one of them their guns. We ain't doing that. Who knows? Who knows who they might just hire to go door to door and do it, because you think she's going to be doing it? You think these stupid politicians that are greedy for power, you think they're going to be doing it? Remember Beto O'Rourke with those arms flapping? Heck yeah, I'll take their AR-15s. And I'm going, would you do it? Or would you sit back and say, somebody go do it. Go, knock on the door. That's what would happen. But here she is talking about that. Now, isn't it crazy how they throw these things out? Now, she just mentioned like 5 million or something, assault weapons out there. But yet she's willing to discuss a mandatory buyback. That means that either folks are going to have to come clean and say, all right, there's a new law. I got to come out and say I bought an AR-15. Or she's going to have a task force that's going to be looking at all the purchasing from stores, who purchased these guns and this and that. And, just snooping around, violating our First Amendment or our Fifth Amendment, something like that. Violating our rights, put it that way. And then after that, have a force of people who would go and request or demand that you buy back, or they buy back your gun. Now, here's the crazy part. The government didn't buy the guns. So what are you talking about buying back? A mandatory buyback. We're here for a mandatory buyback. Did you buy it in the first place? I bought the gun. What are you talking about? Mandatory. But secondly, she's willing to entertain that task. But when it comes down to deporting all of these illegal immigrants, how are you going to do that? That right there is impossible. I mean, you're telling me you're going to be able to get all these millions of people out the country, but yet she's saying that they're going to go around and get millions of guns. Mandatory buyback. Now, isn't that crazy? Now, I don't want nobody in office who flirting around with that. That's a question I have for her. Is that one of your values still? Do you still think that you should have a mandatory buyback? But now she said, no. Now, do you really think she believes that? I mean, you got to be one complete dummy to think that all of these policies, I can see one policy that she might have changed or gave on. There's a whole bunch of far left radical ideas that you hear in this montage that for some reason now, she is saying, I flip-flopped on all of those. But my values about them remain the same. So what I'm telling you is I still believe what I said. Only difference is I can't stand on that policy right now because I know I won't get elected. But you put me in office, or I'm going to find a way to slide those policies back in.
It is outdated, it is wrong-headed thinking to think that the only way you're going to get communities to be safe is to put more police officers on the street.
Oh, well, look at that policy. There you go. It's outdated, y'all. Been using it for years. It's been working for the most part until Democrats came along and start demonizing the police, making them want to go ahead and retire earlier, forcing them to get shots, prosecuting them for political reasons, even though a lot of folks get themselves jacked up by the cops, and all of a sudden, oh, wait, we can use some racism here. Let's go ahead and prosecute them. Yeah, let's go ahead and make an example out of them for political reasons. And then now they're complaining we can't even get enough officers. And we are now seeing all the results of these SO-ran cities who demonized their police, took their budgets from them, and don't have enough police force. And the streets are like, welcome to New York. You know what I'm saying? Not New York, but what was that movie? Escape from New York. Yeah, it's like Escape from New York. And they want that across the whole country. And this woman right here talking about somebody that we need to reimagine policing.
Also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for healthcare services. Benefits. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal healthcare, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about
Very clear. Y'all see her? She even gave us the head shake. Let me be very clear. Are you still clear? Or is it foggy? That's what I want to know. Are you still staying on this? Is it still a value? Let's see.
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Period. So when one of these illegal immigrants gets sick or maybe having a baby, they should go pull up to Chameleon's house and say, the bill for this birth right here is $80,000 and all the healthcare stuff. That we're here to collect a check from you to pay for that, because you said you weren't going to deny any of these people healthcare and all that stuff. So we're here for you to do your part. Okay, we're going to ask you to pay for this. You think she would do that? No, she could say things like that because she's going, hey, I got to pay for that crap. All of you peasants have to pay for it. And if you whine about it, and if you get mad and start questioning, we'll just call you xenophobes, call you far-right extremists, things like that. Interesting.
To reiterate, you support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it.
Tell them shut up.
Let's eliminate all of that.
Look how casually she just threw that out there. Just like an authoritative person. Just like a Marxist, communist, whatever. No regard for any of that. Let's get rid of all of that. Sarcasm, the stank face. She had a stank face. Like, man, you think I'm worried about these people and what they think, how they gonna feel? This is how Democrats operate. The stuff that they implement, they don't care nothing about how folks feel. They don't care when they force that dang on shot on everybody. And I'm saying y'all even forced it down people who vote for y'all. That's the crazy part about it. There was a lot of Democrats that were mad that they had to get that mess. And yet they still vote for these idiots. That alone should make all of them say, I see what you're working with. I see what would happen if we give y'all power. That decision alone should make all of them say, I will never, ever vote for them again. If any of them was a victim of that tyranny, they should all be like, wasn't she a part of that party? Wasn't she one up there going, y'all should need to, wasn't she in that? Why would you vote for these people? I mean, people got short-term memories, man. All those Democrats that I know that were complaining about it, man, I don't like getting that in. If they out here still contemplating voting for this person, you deserve what you get. Unbelievable. But let's continue, because see, these are all policies that she back in the day said that, hey, yeah, let's do it, man. Get rid of it.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Whoa.
How dare we? And yeah, I am radical.
There you go.
Because my values have not changed.
See, she is a radical and her values haven't changed. Now, the values usually dictate the behavior. That's all I'm saying. So you got to be dumb not to make that connection. As she get up there and talked about my values haven't changed, hoping that you don't pay attention and make that connection. Usually people will manifest their values in their behavior. So for her to simply jump over the policies and jump into values, that's not going to fly. That is you trying to redirect the attention to my value system and not the policies. I'm not going to tell you the policies that I actually flip-flopped on and give you a reason why. I'm just going to let you believe that somehow I really did flip-flop on all these policies. All right. I'm not going to tell you all of them that I did. I'm not going to tell you the one and why I did it. I'm just going to simply say, hey, look, my overall values haven't changed. Take that answer and let that be enough. Interpret that how you will. I mean, you might interpret it as, well, if her values haven't changed, but her policies changed, then most likely she's going to go with the policies and not her values. No, eventually your values will win out. That's what's going to happen. Your values will eat you to pieces and you start going, man, I want to do some banning. I want to do some forcing some shots and some folks. I'm itching for some tyranny. I need to get some guns, man. It's all up in me. I wake up at night and I get the guns. Oh God, I had another dream about getting the guns. It's deep. It's all up in me. It'll get the best of you at some point. So now, that's why we can never let this woman win. That's why she's garbage. Her policies are radical. But wait, let's get into personality as we close out for tonight. Because, yeah, she's getting a double dose. Policies and personality. Yeah, this one right here is personal. Because I don't want a president doing this.
With the plan.
The plan. What is she? Tattoo? Boss, the plan. The plan. Boss, the plan. What are you, Tattoo from Fantasy Island? The plan. Boss, the plan. So now, you want this? You want this woman right here, up here talking about the plan?
Uppercase P, the plan.
I want to know who's the real president of this country.
Sorry, you got a rat? So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
The women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022. That talk about progress, you know.
Are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house?
Where are they?
It's on your laptop. Therefore, up here in this cloud.
There you go. It's up there in this cloud. Where's the cloud at?
That exists above us.
It exists above us, y'all. So that's where all our data is. When you take your pictures, it goes up in the sky. Yeah, it doesn't go to a server. No, that's just, no, it's somewhere up there. So if you want to get it, you got to get in an airplane, maybe, a balloon, something like that, float up there and get your data. Yeah, it goes up in the sky. Personally, she's an idiot. And yet they try to play that clip of Donald Trump saying she's not smart. Of course she's not smart. Look at this. Let's hear some of these word salads. See, because personally, I don't want her representing the country.
I call myself a joyful warrior. Earth is kind of small. Yeah, right? The earth is like a speck, which is why we will work together and continue to work together.
Redundancy?
And to work together.
Y'all hear that? Stuck on together? redundancy, constant. That's why we have to work together and continue to work together. As we work together through all of these things together, we will work. Let me go ahead and reverse that. Together we will work. Work together we will. Work together we will. Together we will work. Yoda. But here she is, hitting us with all of that. Work together at the weather together.
As we continue to work, operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on.
I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone on your way home from work.
Look at her. The drunk aunt. I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone on your way home from work. Good grief. The, I guess, standard that we have as a country has dropped drastically. I mean, you know, I look back at some of our presidents that looked presidential, looked strong. I can't even imagine this woman with all of these clips of her behavior, her tone, the things that she say, how she thinks, how she pontificates. I can't imagine folks going, yeah, man, I feel confident voting for her and having her run our country. Because, see, you got to remember, guys, we're not the only ones judging her. This ain't one of those we can shield her from the rest of the world. We can hide her. No, the Democrats have figured out how to hide all of this stupidity from the voters that vote for them. But everybody else sees it. We see it. The rest of the world sees it. They watch these clips just like we are. And they're going, did you hear this, dummy? I cannot believe they're trying to install this chick in the White House. Let's see some more, y'all.
Leave grandma's medical marijuana alone. Right? I convened a group of younger black men. We got these brothers out there that have tech companies. This one brother was doing a lot of work in this race is gearing up. You know, people are going to say, oh, you know, Kamala's po-po. You know,
So you're trying to get black? Kamala's po-po. Let's continue.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. There you go. No, that's all horrible stuff. That's all stuff that personally I don't want to see in the White House.
As we all know, elections matter. And when folks vote, they order what they want. Yeah. And in this case, they got what they asked for.
Which is trash. That must mean all of their voters ordered some garbage. They might as well went to the restaurant and says, no, I won't be ordering off that menu. I'm going right out back into the alley, diving in the dumpster with a straw and drink some dumpster juice. Because that's what this administration is. Dumpster juice. So let's continue, y'all, because it doesn't just stop there. It gets worse.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing in that.
Oh, now she's serious, y'all. Yeah, she's serious. She right now is about to get deep on us, y'all. She about to give us some wonderful wordology that's going to take us to another level. Kind of reminds me of some other deep folks that I know of.
That time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
To computate how it works, I will intersex with a perverted deviant by using one of my own penile implants.
That's right, brother.
About the significance of
y'all see that? That's who she reminds me of right there. Like she got a bunch of words for Christmas and she's just like, oh, I opened up a box of words. Now I'm going to try to use them and make them sound deep. I don't know the context or what this word means or how it fits with this, but I'm just going to say words. So here she is, y'all. Let's finish hearing her with these wonderful words of encouragement.
Passage of time.
The passage of time.
Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
The ambiguity that I feel never justifies itself. There's always the pungent odor of life's constipation that surreptitiously conflicts with the detrimental instability hitherto 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
That's deep. Y'all hear that? That's right, man. Sounds just like something she would say. That's the bad word. Sounds just like something she would say. The ambiguities I feel never justifies the prestations of the polarities. You dig? Let me digress myself a little further. So let's finish hearing wonderful words of wisdom.
I am here, standing.
Where?
Here,
right
on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms.
You see that right there? I mean, what, you got a nose candy problem on the northern flank? I mean, the eastern flank? What's up with that? Okay.
In terms of the eastern flank and our NATO allies.
The unification of Congress, excuse me, condoms.
All right, my brother.
The squalor of profanity over and over again.
Man, now see the sad part about that? That's how she would sound to a foreign country. There it is. When she gets up and says stuff like that, you might as well be listening to Damon Wayans right there. You sit back going, okay, what the heck did that just mean? She just put together words, and tried to make them sound deep. Yeah, she probably watched those clips from In Living Color like, that's all I got to do. Hey, instead of, people being able to comprehend what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying, be able to walk away and explain the meaning of things. If I just say big words or put words together to try to make it seem deep, they'll walk away saying, I know she said something meaningful, but I don't know what it meant and I don't know what it was or how it's connected. It's just a lot of words to make her sound deep. Like this.
Is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia.
Now, she right there is Googling the heck out of that. She sounds like she's Googling it right there. That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst ones right there. That should have sealed her fate, that clip. You would be thinking that she's sitting amongst kids, crisscross applesauce, and yet they want to send her out on the global stage to deal with diplomatic, matters. And she's talking about Russia and Ukraine like this.
Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade us.
Like she's reading a storybook, pop-ups. And Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country. Sounds like she's reading a pop-up book.
A smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong. Oh, wait. Here's some other deep thoughts from Chameleon.
We must together work together.
Again?
To see where we are.
Some more together?
Where we are headed, where we are going, and our vision for where we should be. But also see it as a moment, yes, to together address the challenges.
Okay, let me digress my bowels for a minute and right to the front. The nondescript hernia rectifies the miscommunication of fetal or fecal, depending on where your head is at.
Word. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or fecal, depending on where your head is at. Y'all don't hear Chameleon out there dropping knowledge like that? Dang, man. What's wrong with you? You can't feel her? Go ahead, Chameleon. Break that mess down for us. Here we go.
The ability to see what can be.
There you go.
Unburdened by what has been.
Word.
And then to make the possible actually happen.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
Yeah, that's deep, man. No idea what he just said and don't have any idea what she said. That's the sad part about it. I can insert her clips right into In Living Color and everything she's joking. They would be like, is this chick, she's hilarious. What? Oh, she's serious? She's really, oh shoot, I thought she came up with a great bit. Thought she came up with a wonderful bit. Damon Wayans' character could be the VP right now. That dude right there, if he was a real life human, he right now could be substituted for her.
What is at stake at this very moment?
Okay, here we go.
What is at stake this very moment?
Is what?
Are some of the guiding principles around the NATO alliance as it relates to what we need to do domestically as well as what we need to do in terms of this issue generally. Mm-hmm. We have, as the president said, reevaluated what we're doing.
Legally, repressing my buzzitude.
Right.
I've retracted my gonads with gigantic proportions. And the signing of the prohibition, you see, defecates the fluids of the tension between the essence of the Euro intercourse.
Yeah. Tell him, brother. Tell him. That's deep. That's deep. Man, she's deeper than he is, though. Wait. Check this out one.
Based on what we've just been able to see, and because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Oh, shoot.
But just limited to what we have seen.
Woo! Look at that. She looked like she was confused. You see the moment when she like, what did I just say? What did I just say? Let's see the moment where she realizes that I just served up a word salad. Here it is.
You've seen.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here we go.
Okay, brother. Okay. See, all you doing right now is saturating your liquid. Okay? Because I believe it was Homo erectus that said to expose the hemorrhoidal ramification would merely delineate the colonic orifice, thereby separating the gluteus from the maxis. Homo was very deep.
Yeah, very deep. Just like her. Just like her. Boy, oh, well, look at this. Look at this. Michigan and wait, she's in two different spots?
The path to the White House runs right through this state.
Wait a minute. How can the path to the White House run through both of those states? That's kind of odd. Makes me think she's not genuine. Makes me think she's trying to manipulate the people. Makes me think she's just got it on repeat and out there reading the same thing. Same motions, everything. Isn't that a conflict? The path through the White House runs through this state. She didn't say through Georgia and Michigan. This one, meaning there is no other path. That in itself shows you that she's fake and a liar. She tells each audience that they're the best. There you go. They're the best. I'll never forget, my buddy was joking. When we were younger, he was talking to some girl out at some club, and I'm watching him over there, and he is just spitting all kind of game. Got done, walked over to me. I said, what's up with her, man? He said, hey, man, I love her. I said, you love her already? He said, yeah, man, I love her. And then I asked him about a good friend of mine named Selena. I call her Shaq because he used to always swear me down. He want to get with Shaq, right? So I said, but what about Shaq? He said, I love her too. That's simple. He was like, I love her too. That's what she's like. She's like that person that goes to one city and says, I love them. Well, what about Michigan? I love them too. There you go. So now the path to the White House runs straight through both of these states. Interesting.
We've been called
this is
the
new.
termination of the United States Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution.
What did she just say? That right there was
This
bad.
state.
And I'm going to tell you why. She was reading this one, y'all. So this puts her in that Joe Biden category right about now. I might have been able to excuse her when she's off script, freestyling, but you're reading now and you went that far off script. Let's hear it again, y'all.
Been called
Trying to
for termination of the United States Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution.
What the?
And further hindering the pyorrhea, which has me, you got me, brother, the diarrhea. Okay, moving toward the angina or vagina, depending on how much time you got. Man, you are Metamucil.
Yep, and that's exactly what she is, a Metamucil. A nasty, dirty Metamucil. That's what she is. Man, you a Metamucil. She is a garbage candidate. I don't see why or how they stuck her out there. But Joe Biden, I think, set him up. Now that I think of it, I give all my support to the backup plan, Chameleon. And now here she out there dropping all of those word salads and that raggedy interview, which all she did is went out there and did what I expected her to do. Be vague, misplaced blame, focus on Donald Trump and all of his evilness, and, same old stuff the Democrats do, because she went on a very friendly network, and that's what you get. That's what you get. So God bless y'all. God bless America. And all I can say is we got to stop that woman from getting anywhere near the White House, or we're going to be hearing Damon Wayans types messages for the rest of the next 4 years or whatever, out there saying stuff and like, did you hear what she said today? I don't know. I mean, I heard it, but I didn't understand it. It meant no sense. It made no sense. She's horrible, man. She's the pits. So I think we'll be okay as she unravels and as people really see what they're flirting with. But all I really worry about more than anything, because you know they're going to do it, guys. You know they're going to try to cheat. You know it. That is it, man. I'm not worried about the voters. I know we got the majority of voters. I worry about them trying to slide in some shenanigans. So we better be on it, man. That's all I'm saying. So thanks for hanging out with me this Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have yourself a great time. I might slide in one extra show since I missed last night. I got some extra material I need to unload anyway. So thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget, text MAGA to this number. And if you want to support the channel, you can through my Cash App or my PayPal. Or just check out Kevin's Corner Store. You can purchase some gear or some items there as well. Other than that, let's see you guys on maybe one day during the weekend and definitely on Monday. Or Monday. I know you see the apes. I know you see the way we tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.